All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting started. This is being recorded on our DCI education group. This is a continuation of facials for our cosmetology crew. Picking back up at facial exfoliants. Let's have a look. This is bookmark as well. First thing coming in, we see some bold wording. In that bold wording, we do want to make sure that we check out the flashcards in our SEMA. And let's take a look at exfoliants. We left off at exfoliants, and I was telling you about. One moment. I was telling you about three types of exfoliants. Let's go through and do some highlighting and just some reinforcement of our lesson from yesterday. All right. It says exfoliants and exfoliation. I need you to know the difference between the two. Exfoliants are the products that help bring about exfoliation, and exfoliation is the removal of excess dead cells from the skin surface. So please make sure, we're going to put that in yellow. Please make sure that you put this as a thought to remember. This is bookmark, so you can go back and see it in your ebook. It says removing dead cells from the skin surface allows the skin to look smoother and clear. So, can you imagine individuals who do not get facials or regular exfoliation? It just becomes an accumulation of dead cells. A lot of times, many individuals think that there are dark spots and they need other treatments, but really they need exfoliation. I tell individuals all the time, why jump to chemical peels, which are pretty much when you tried everything else? Okay. I prefer um, crystalless microdermabrasion. Okay. Do that dermabrasion, and then we move to enzymes. Both of those are great about removing dead skin cells. Okay, it really softens the skin, sloughs off, gets everything off. The skin is smooth. Many times, many individuals need that lower grade of exfoliation or mid grade of exfoliation before you move on to a higher grade, such as acid peels. You really know that simply by knowledge. So, continued training in exfoliants and advanced topics is going to be key to becoming experts in that field. Okay, let's see what we have. All right, and so remember exfoliants and exfoliation. You're going to remember these two. These are two terms, and remember the removal associated with the removal of dead skin cells. All right, and someone that has not gotten facials or does not, you just have that accumulation, and it could cause you to think that skin is darker in certain areas. Okay, but it's simply an accumulation of dead skin cells. Let's look at other benefits depending on the type of exfoliation used. There are three types of exfoliation. You do have manual, you have mechanical, and you have chemical. Okay, and so we reinforced these yesterday. Let's look at the benefits again. You're going to see this on study guide. Okay, let's get some control here. Bam, going back to yellow. Okay, benefits of exfoliation: proper exfoliation, proper removal of dead skin cells may improve the skin's appearance in the following way. So sometimes when recommending a service for the client, you're trying to upsell or recommend, always be able to tell them what the service is and the benefits of the service. So although there are several benefits here, I really need you to understand at least three to five of these, and this would help bring about the consultation. Also, more so when you're talking about skin and analysis, and when it's time to refer um, clients, you as far as what services they should be getting, you have a common understanding of the services you're doing as well. Okay. Here are the benefits: reduces clogged pores and skin oiliness. So for those large or enlarged pores, those enlarged pores sits and carry more oil. So removing dead skin cells and those things out of the pores, you have the pores start to shrink down. Okay. Naturally, they're gonna try to do that. Promote skin smoothing. So if you have someone that have rough skin, they have, or you heard someone say they have tough, rough skin, and exfoliation is going to remove the dead skin cells and promote smoothness. Okay. Increase moisture content and hydration. So for those individuals that have had dry skin or have complaints of their skin being dry, that is simply the dead skin cells are going to be dry, probably, and sometimes flaky on top of the skin. So if you remove the dead skin cells through what we call exfoliation, you're going to see an increase in moisture content, and the skin is going to be hydrated because it's not smothered with dry skin. Okay, it reduces hyperpigmentation, less defined hyperpigmentation. It's accumulation of melanin that has just locked together. It is dark spots. Okay, so it's going to reduce hyperpigmentation. Here's the thing: a lot of times people think that they have serious issues with hyperpigmentation, but they simply need a really good exfoliation. It's an accumulation of dry, dead skin cells. Okay, they become darker on the surface. Decreases uneven skin tone. So now that we've moved that, we can have a skin tone, a skin color that's one color. Okay, softens wrinkles and fine lines. Okay, gets rid of, softens those ties. So it is great for our aging clients, great for our senior clients who are moving into, we call them seasoned. They are moving into their care routine in their later parts of their life. And so exfoliation is going to be a big component of that, and speeds up cell turnover. That goes right along with softening the wrinkles and fine lines. That 40 and up crew is going to be amazing. They ultimately want to look younger. They want to preserve their skin. They have great care they want a great care routine for their skin as well. So it's going to speed up cell turnover. That's going to be great for those seniors, their aging clients, because as they age, the cell turnover slows down. So if they're including facial routine, facial treatments as a service, you always want to suggest the key for exfoliation. Make sure the exfoliation is where it needs to be, whether you choose manual, mechanical, or chemical. Last but not least, allows for better penetration of treatment creams and serums. Here's the thing: we need to get the skin exfoliated. Remember, it's accumulation of dead skin cells. All right, it's blocking the pores, and if you don't, it just continues to build and build and build. It doesn't know anything else, it just continues to build. Okay, but as it builds, it blocks. So things that need to go in can't necessarily go in, and stuff that need to come out doesn't necessarily come out. All right, so allows for better penetration and treatment of creams and serums. You don't want to waste your money on your creams and serums and then they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing effectively. Okay, you want it to be 100% effective. Okay, let's look at this form of exfoliation: mechanical exfoliation. Okay, mechanical exfoliation is what I was typically talking about with the rotary brush, ultrasonic spatulas, also with microdermabrasion or crystallis microdermabrasion machine. Okay, you found this on 756. I did reference the disincrustation solution. Okay, so here's the mechanical exfoliation. Absolutely my favorite service to provide to clients. Okay, let's make sure we don't have anybody in the wait room. Okay, we are good. So continue to mechanical exfoliation. Let's go down and make this blue today. Okay, we're gonna make this blue. Mechanical exfoliation. We want to define this in the flashcards. Include the following methods to physically remove dead cell buildup. So sometimes you need a little help. So you need to go to a mechanical apparatus, okay? Okay, so it's going to physically remove dead skin cells. A facial brush and ultrasonic spatulas, all right? Facial scrubs made with rice bran, almond milk, jojoba beads, and more. So we actually got to take our hand, put the product on, use our hand to roll around in small circles, okay? And microdermabrasion scrubs containing aluminum oxide or sodium bicarbonate crystals. Let me tell you, a lot of people do not use the crystals anymore. A lot of people do not use the crystals. They use crystal-less dermabrasion, okay? Because the crystals used to go up the noses and things of that nature. So we don't want those crystals going up people's noses. So we don't use those anymore. So the most used kind is the crystal-less dermabrasion. And I tell clients anytime to do the dermabrasion. Um, it really every client should get a dermabrasion service. Every client, okay. So facial brushes, that's the rotary brushes, the spatulas, then the actual product, and then the actual dermabrasion. Okay. The microdermabrasion, this is what we should highlight in yellow, and then we'll go to it as well. You can find this in your flashcards as well. Advanced exfoliation treatment, okay, involving a microdermabrasion machine with a handheld device to loosen dead skin cells and polish the skin. It's used primarily to treat surface wrinkles and aging skin. You can use the crystals, but here's what we use. We're going to take that in blue, crystal free. Okay, crystal free microdermabrasion has gained popularity because it consists of diamond tip applicators that polishes away the skin's upper layers without the cleanup or expense of crystals. All right, so we don't have to deal with the crystals. You just have nice tips that you have to just clean, and it does a great job. Here's another form of microderm abrasion. We're going to put it in pink. Hydro. Anytime you hear the term hydro, especially used as a root word, it deals with water. So this is a wet microdermabrasion. It's a therapeutic procedure that combines liquid exfoliation with serum penetration to promote healthier and more balanced skin. I think somebody is trying to get on. Okay. Helps promote healthier and more balanced skin. So hydrobrasion, the hydro microdermabrasion, it is very popular. They call it the wet microdermabrasion, and also the crystal free. All right. So think of a lawnmower, your skin being the grass. Okay. The dermabrasion machine being the lawnmower, and how the lawnmower goes across the grass. So the skin must be completely dry. Okay, some individuals will use alcohol based or acetone based products to remove all the oil. So it must be completely dry. Let's go look at figure 1825. And then this is a hydrobrasion as well. It says all microdermabrasion methods require extensive training. All right. So don't stop here. You just have an introduction here, but it requires extensive training. And then you have mechanical exfoliation. Here's the contraindications. This is definitely going to be test worthy. Okay, definitely going to be test worthy. To avoid damaging the skin, do not use rotary brushes, ultrasonic spatulas, scrubs, or mechanical exfoliation technique, including microdermabrasion, on the following skin types and condition. So, contraindications, okay? Contraindications, if you have them present, we are not performing a service. All right. Here's certain skin types and conditions that we cannot perform the microdermabrasion service on. Sensitive skin. It's going to be really red and it may show tracks. Okay. It may show severe bruising and tracks across the skin. Skin with many visible capillaries, which means the blood vessels are too close to the skin. All right. Having sometimes that suction can cause the blood vessels to burst. And we do not want that. The thin skin that reddens easily. Okay. It becomes red and possibly could cause scarring. Okay. Because it's thin. So it doesn't take much to cut or scar. Okay. And so you definitely could have some scabs show up later. Okay. Look like tracks. Mature skin that is the opposite, thin and bruises easily. So if you have aging adults that have sensitive skin, they bruise easily, you're definitely going to see this. This is why you have to be careful with using suction techniques and machines on certain clients, because it could put blood to a certain area and it can really sit there for a while. All right, so bruising, skin being medically treated with Red A or any type of prescription prescribed from a dermatologist. So that's those prescriptions, especially Red A, it softens the skin because it's at a point where if you do microdermabrasion or even waxing, this is a contraindication for waxing as well, you could pull the skin off. So the objective for the dermabrasion is to go across the skin. And remember, I told you, think of it as an lawnmower. So lawnmower has a precise cut. It cuts with power too. So you're gonna have this item, this dermabrasion tool with power going across the skin, and it could literally lift the skin because the skin is in a softened state. All right. So definitely you're gonna see redness, you're gonna see bruising, you're gonna see scraping. So find out what medications they're on, all these medications, and what skincare products are on. If they're telling you they're seeing a dermatologist, that's a red flag right there. Okay. Most of the items that are over the counter, you can still do dermabrasions with because the form of those ingredients are not strong. Okay. The percentage of it is not a lot. Clients taking blood thinning medications. Again, this is could increase the blood flow, high blood pressure, bruising, things of that nature. Acne prone skin with inflamed papules and pustules. This is something like cystic acne. You have a lot of pimples in a particular area, inflamed, think of redness, inflamed, think of pain, inflamed, think of soreness. Okay. Inflamed. Then you have pustules. Now you have the presence of pus and possibly the presence of infection. Okay, so we are not doing a microdermabrasion within those parameters. Here's a caution. I'm gonna put it in purple. Okay. Over exfoliating, doing too much, doing it too often, okay, can result into ultra sensitive skin and inflamed skin. Ultra sensitive and inflamed. Combining more than one exfoliation type may lead to irritation. All right. Combining more than one exfoliation type can lead to irritation. So please, I tell people all the time, um figure out which one you want to do and then we'll stick to it. Okay, when it comes to those mechanical exfoliations, and then you're doing other services that also peel, remove, it's going to make the client very, very sensitive. Okay. Always carefully advise your clients on the proper use of home care exfoliant. Give them instructions on how to use it, basically educate them on how not to use it, how not to overdo it. All right. And give them a lesson on using daily sunscreen. If you are in a notion of repairing your skin, removing dead skin cells, there's a layer of skin that's been removed. It needs to be protected, especially this time of the year, all time of the year. It is not, sunscreen is not for one type of people, one skin tone. It's for all individuals. Okay. Everyone can be affected by the sun's harmful rays. Let's look down at chemical exfoliants. I hope everybody got that. Chemical exfoliants now is what we will move. We'll talk about enzymes and then we'll talk about acids. We'll put that in pink. I thought we were putting that in pink. Let's start with yellow, then we'll go pink. Okay. Always receive hands-on training from your instructor when doing chemical exfoliants. Okay. You guys can also come and join us when we go over advanced topics when it comes to aesthetics as well. There are two chemical exfoliants most commonly used by estheticians. You have hydroxy acids and enzymes. All right. Hydroxy acids and enzymes. I tell people all the time, if you're going to go chemicals, start with enzymes first. And many individuals do not think that enzymes are chemicals, but start with enzymes first. That is on the safer end. Then you will move over to your acids. Okay. Enzymes sometimes could be citrus fruit based, acid based, and they are safer than some of your other facial products. Okay, a lot of times you're going to see an immediate driven result after usage, and a lot of clients are attracted to that. Okay, let's look at hydroxy acids. All hydroxy acids are naturally occurring acids that remove dead skin cells on the skin surface. There are many types of these acids. Okay, they loosen the intercellular cement between the cells. So the bond that holds the cells together to give us skin, it is tight like cement. When you use the acid starts to melt those bonds down. Okay, it's going to melt in between those cells. And so those cells have to be repaired, built back up as well. So they'll make room for the new ones that's coming in. It says all hydroxy acids are advanced treatments. So none of them are regular. They're all advanced treatments and are usually not offered as part of a basic facial. This is considered an advanced treatment. It is considered to be part of a treatment plan that people will use for issues with tone of skin, uneven skin tone, acne, and also the texture of the skin. Okay. Going back to green. Okay. I'll put these in different colors. All right. It says depending on the acid used, okay, it's how deep they go into the skin. So if you have a client or you say, hey, my client is going to, I think we need to move to an acid peel. One, I want to first address the issues. What's going on with the skin that we have moved to an acid peel? Then I'm gonna find the right acid peel to go with what's going on with the skin. I'm not gonna go to the top one. I'm not gonna go to the most expensive one or to the strongest one. Okay. We got AHAs. All right. This group of acids smooth, tighten, firm, and brighten the skin. All right. So definitely you're thinking about dark spots. You're thinking about wrinkles. You'll think about rough skin. Go with your AHAs, okay? Most are used as standalone treatments or specific combinations, all right? Recommended for dry, normal to dry skin, not recommended for oily skin. So those are the tips and notes that you'll need to know. AHA or alpha hydroxy acids, not for combination or oily skin. Then you have your glycolic um, hydroxy acid, which across most state boards, this is the standard, okay, for aesthetics and for cosmetology, hydroxy acids, glycolic hydroxy acids, okay? The smallest molecule, which means they can really penetrate into the pores, penetrates the deep, and it goes the deepest. Red flag with green flag for a go. Okay. And most quickly. So it's going to do what it needs to do. It's going to get in there, go deep, and do it quickly. Not recommended for sensitive skin, but can be recommended for dry skin and a photo sun damage. So those individuals who may be out in the sun a lot, have a lot of sun damage from shoulders, décolleté to face, neck and face. It's going to draw moisture in and prevent moisture loss. So that's why this is so good for those individuals with dry skin. Okay. So it's going to draw moisture in and prevent it from coming out. So it's going to lock it in. All right. And not recommended for sensitive skin because it drives. It's going to drive really fast. So it said penetrates the deepest. All right. You have lactic acid, which is always a favorite for me. This is sometimes where I start. Used to treat hyperpigmentation, so individuals with dark spots. General skin brightening does not penetrate as deeply as glycolic acid, so it's not going to go as deep, but it's going to assist in hyperpigmentation. Gentler than glycolic acid, causes less inflammation, recommended for sensitive skin. So lactic acid is usually one of those that I go to for their first acid peel. Okay. It is reminds you of lactic. Okay. So it's a milk component. All right. Can be used, it derives from a milk component. All right. And used to treat hyperpigmentation. You should always keep something like that in your cabinet. So now we have BHAs. Y'all say it with me, BHAs. It's a group of hydroxy acids that cater to acne. Okay. I mean, their biggest thing, they cater to acne. Okay. A group of hydroxy acids with salicylic acid being the top performer. Most acne products will have a significant amount of salicylic acid in there for skincare treatments. All right. It helps treat the skin, prevent acne breakouts. Oil soluble, so that means it dissolves oil. This is going to be amazing. It dissolves oil. All right, it dissolves oil. It's going to lighten sunspots and age spots. So as a person ages, they may have evidence of that on their arms, shoulders, chest, sun damage in some areas. And so beta hydroxy acids are going to be good for lightening those areas. And as I said, acne and hyperpigmentation are the go-to. This should be okay for oily skin, okay, because it helps dissolve oily skin. It helps dissolve sebum. So any of that oil that is has an overabundance, the beta hydroxy acids are going to take care of it. Remember that, okay? Beta hydroxy acids for oily skin, and then alpha hydroxy acids for dry skin. Next, you have polyhydroxy acids, PHAs. Okay. They're in between your AHAs and BHAs. Okay. The PHA molecules cannot penetrate as deeply as AHAs and BHAs. They're gonna work the surface. Okay. It's going to be less irritating because we don't have to have it sit on there a long period of time. You will see the progress of these PHAs over a period of time. So, you won't see as much on the first go round as you would with the other AHAs and BHAs. Um, this is one of those products that you use when it's a first timer, okay? And you're just kind of skeptical about it. It would be the ideal for sensitive skin to see how well the skin is going to go, but please know the results are going to come in a little slower. All right. We're going to go yellow with our enzyme exfoliation. Absolutely love the enzymes. Hold on one moment. Okay. All right, y'all. We are back. We are going to talk about the enzyme exfoliants. I absolutely love enzymes. All right. With the enzymes, also known as keratotic, enzymes are protein dissolving enzymes, which means the skin is made up of protein. So their skin cells protein is strong enough to break those down. Okay. They are considered part of the chemical exfoliants that work to gently dissolve keratin protein. All right. And so please know that enzymes, mean there are contraindications to enzymes also, but enzymes are those things that I would try first. Most of the time, it's going to have papaya enzymes, pineapple, citrus. Most of them are going to be made from those particular products that have a natural skin removal, a natural enzyme component included. Okay. They're usually plant extracts, from what I just told you, from papaya, pineapple, um, and there are also some beef enzymes as well. Okay. They're blended into scrubs and wearable products. And so you can make your own really, but you have to control it. Too much of it could burn the skin. But normally they put them into scrubs and you put them on the face. You also can add them to masks. Many individuals will add them to little products during the facial service, a few products on the facial service, so the skin is continuously being refreshed and renewed. All right. And so I absolutely love them. It's a go-to for me, any individual before. If after the dermabrasion, I may include a enzyme. And let me tell you, may do one or two treatments of that. Most of the time, their skin issue is resolved and they don't have to go to a chemical peel. We look at enzyme masks, either mixed with warm water or form a paste or gel or pre-mixed with the same consistencies. Okay. This type of enzyme treatment does not dry on the skin. They make the skin look healthier and more polished. An enzyme mask I recommend for most skin types. So it's a go for a lot of people. It does have, if you are allergic to citrus, you're not going to be able to use it because remember, it has mostly acid based plant citrus, pineapple, papaya as foundation. Okay. And look at Gomages. These are cream or paste type enzyme masks known as roll off masks. Okay. They contain papaya. As they dry on the skin, they become very dry. And whereas most enzymes do not become dry. Okay. But this is a mask form, not the scrub form. And so discuss, and then you would just roll it over. It is considered a hybrid treatment because it is a mechanical and a chemical. All right, mechanical and a chemical. We're going to talk about sunscreens and then we're going to prepare to close for today. I want you to look at, I'm going to post certain videos in the group for the Cosmo crew to look at for refresher homework. Um, and then we're going to have state board prep next week. Okay, we'll have state board prep next week. And so all days that we are virtual, we'll be going over our state board. So you want everybody to be there. Let's look at our sun protected products, sunscreens. Everybody need them. Okay. Cumulative sun exposure causes the majority of skin cancers and prematurely ages the skin. You being out in the sun and your skin not being protected is causing your skin to age. Okay. Many products that do not have it, your skin can also become very harsh. All right. The UV rays can break up the melanin. It also, based on the type of skin you have on your Fitzpatrick level, whether you're type 1 through type 6, you can experience sunburning. Okay, so you want to make sure that we're protecting our skin as well. There is no such thing as just certain individuals who can't use sunscreen or shouldn't be using sunscreen. Everybody should be using sunscreen. Okay. Looking at the did you know and putting it in yellow. Okay. The FDA regulates the sunscreen products in the United States. The term sunblock cannot be used for products because no product can block 100% of UVA and UVB radiation. So it's called sunscreen, not sunblock. Okay. And manufacturers cannot label sunscreens as waterproof or sweatproof because these claims overstate the product's effectiveness. So those products that say that hey, you can go into the water and it'll still be all right, that's not true. Okay. It's always some form of percentage that these products can go left. Sunscreen also cannot claim to provide sun protection for more than 2 hours without real application. And so you have to make sure and that your time that you are going to be out in the sun that you're protecting. But this information is great for when you have to go and purchase the sunscreen. Okay. So do not rely on what you hear. Also, you need to know what's going on. Your assignment for the rest of the week is to continue to check in questions. And these check-in questions are on. Okay, these check-in questions are check-in 13 through 16. So we should be 1 through 16 now. Okay. So continue these check-in questions. You're going to watch the basic massage technique since we've been over types and products and different things that go on with the facial. So next we're going to massage. You should watch the video basic techniques used in massage, facial massage. I'm going to put it in a group. Make sure you watch those before we come back into the classroom. If you have, I'm going to stop share on this.